Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new episode of NASCAR Heat 3 Career Mode. Today we will be racing in Michigan for the Xfinity Series, obviously with Hailie Deegan and myself in the Cup Series. So coming into this race we had a second place finish at this track last season, so hopefully we can finish one spot better this time around in Michigan, as this could be considered one of my kind of home tracks, as this is one of the closer tracks to me, as I am from Canada, and this is about a 4-hour drive, but Watkins Glen is also about the same distance away from me, so it's kind of a home track, so we can hope that we can maybe get a victory here. But now, as you can see, Hailie Deegan, she had a 13th starting position, and she would work her way through the field actually pretty quickly, much faster than I anticipated that she would, as she would just continue to use that bottom line to her advantage. As we came to about the midway point in this race, she had worked her way up into the 5th position behind this little train of cars behind Hamrick, Harvick, Sadler, and one of the JGR cars, which I believe could be Christopher Bell. No, it's actually Ryan Preece, but by the time we came to the final lap, she would end up working her way up into the 3rd position, but that was about as far as she would be able to get. Now, as you see here on the last lap down the back straightaway, trying to battle to the inside of Kevin Harvick, going for that 2nd position, as Daniel Hemrick was in command through turns 3 and 4 for the final time. As they came out of turn 4, Hailie would battle side by side with Kevin Harvick, the one driver that said great things about her last year in 2018, but she would come across the line and get edged out by Harvick to finish in the 3rd position now in Michigan. So certainly a good rebound from a bit of a rough stretch of races that she has had, just a couple races that weren't very good for herself. So like I said, a great rebound. Hopefully we can get another win shortly, as she sits 8th in the standings, and that's certainly very solid for her in her rookie season, and it's nothing to be really disappointed with, as she would get us over $900,000 to the team, and hopefully we can carry over this performance by her over into my Cup race and maybe finish a couple positions better, as like I said, we come into this race very well in the playoff standings. We're already got a win, we're locked into the playoffs, and we come into this race with a 2nd place finish here in the 1st race last season, and I believe we finished 4th in the 2nd race, so certainly got quite high expectations to live up to. As you see, Ryan Blaney is the last car currently in the playoffs, so he's going to be on the edge maybe just a little bit now. As we come to our qualifying lap, I was only able to get into the 2nd session as we come through the trioval, crossing the line with the draft from Keselowski. We went with a 37.197, and I decided to call it a lap there, and unfortunately we would miss out on the final round by going P13 in Michigan. So let's go see what we can do here at the D-shaped oval.
The stars of NASCAR thunder into Michigan International Speedway for today's running of the Firekeepers Casino 400. This D-shaped 2-mile oval is nestled in the tranquil and scenic Irish Hills area of southeastern Michigan. However, this locale will be anything but tranquil today, as this sprawling landscape plays host to the best race car drivers in the world. Michigan is fast. In fact, the track is the fastest track on the schedule, with speeds often reaching more than 200 miles per hour. So you better buckle up, because NASCAR racing is coming up next.
All right, we are ready to get going green in Michigan. Kevin Harvick is on the pole, but Harrison Rhodes, he had an engine change after qualifying, so he's starting at the back, even though he probably was already starting there. Martin Truex Jr., unapproved body modification during qualifying, so he will be sent to the back, which moves me up a position into the 12th position on the high line, so certainly not what I necessarily need as we start alongside the 48 of Jimmy Johnson, and the green flag is out. We are underway in Michigan as Harvick and his teammate Almirola lead us to the green flag. Almirola is still looking for win number 1 on the season, and in our career mode in general. He did not get a win last season, so can he do it today in Michigan? Now as we head down into turns 1 and 2 side by side with the 22 now of Joey Logano. And as we come through the center of turns 1 and 2, now on the exit of turn 2, on the bumper of our teammate Kyle Larson, as we head down the back straightaway side by side with the 17 of Ricky Stenhouse Jr. as we approach turn 3, touching the back bumper of our teammate Larson now through the center of the corner, closing in on him just a little bit. Our teammate Larson certainly in the playoffs right now, but he's not in the greatest position. He does have a few playoff points, but he's still looking for win number 1 in his return to Cup racing after that 1-year absence as we took over his ride when we came into the Cup Series in our rookie season. Now as we head down into turns 1 and 2, a lot of cars you see early on migrating to the bottom line as Stenos is going to take Logano and Larson 3 wide down the back straightaway. Certainly an ambitious move early on in this race, but it certainly worked out for him as we dive to the inside of Chase Elliott as he was pulling ahead of me, and we take our teammate and Elliott 3 wide as we head into turns 3 and 4, trying to gain some positions now as we ride that bottom line right near that white seam or the white line as we exit turn 4, moving up to 13th. Now to the inside of Stenhouse, trying to make a 3 wide once again with him and Joey Logano as we cross the line, and we would edge out in front of them and do the same thing to Jimmy Johnson, looking to the inside of him, and just like that we go from about 15th to 16th all the way up into the top 10 as we pass Brad Keselowski now on the exit of turn 2 as he's going to get on my right rear a little bit and pull me backwards, but we close in on the back of the 11 of Hamlin. We would get past him and move up into the 7th position, but we would get passed once again by Jimmy Johnson by the midway point in the stage, and at this point you can see we're a little bit a ways from the top 5, so I decided to fall in line behind Jimmy Johnson and try to help him and basically bump draft him so we could maybe catch this pack up ahead of us, and that was really the main goal here, because if I was to try and pass Jimmy Johnson, we weren't going to run these guys down, and me helping the 48 ended up working. By the time we came to lap 9 of 14 in stage 1, you see we do close in on the back of these cars a little bit now as Almirola is in 5th place as Johnson and myself close up in on them, and by the time we came to 2 to go in stage 1, still in the same position now behind Kevin Harvick, looking to his inside as we go into turns 1, but he's going to block the move through the center of the corner as he moves up the track, allowing me to close in on him just a little bit as we come down the back straightaway, approaching the white flag in stage 1 this time by, and once again I look to his inside, right on his quarter panel on his door now as we go into turn 3, pretty even, trying to move up into the 6th position, and we will do just that as we do clear the 4 of Harvick through the center of turns 3 and 4 as we come out of the corner, now looking to maybe run down that 48 within this final lap of stage 1, but it's certainly looking like that's not going to happen as he has got a fairly substantial gap between himself and I as we head down into turns 1 and 2 for the final time in stage 1 as Almirola tries to hold on to the 4th position over 5th place Jimmy Johnson as we exit turn 2 down the back straightaway. I believe Jimmy Johnson does have 1 win this season, so he's already locked into the playoffs just like myself as we head down into turns 3 and 4 for the final time in stage 1. Kevin Harvick lurks behind but is not going to be able to run me down as Kyle Busch leads over Boyer and Joey Logano as we exit turn 4, and Kyle Busch is going to hang on to win stage 1, and we will come through to get 6th place in the first stage. So certainly a very solid effort considering we started 12th in this race, quickly fell back to about 15th or 16th, and we rallied our way back forwards into a top 10 finishing position in this first stage, and we would come to pit road and take 2 cans of fuel, and I would also come through to take 4 tires, and obviously we would come out in the same position that we came in. And one thing I would like to see in NASCAR Heat is maybe like mistakes during pit stops, so you could kind of have a position shuffling around. Hopefully that's something that happens. But now as we take the green flag to start the second stage, right on the back bumper of the 10 of Almirola as Kyle Busch leads us down into turns 1. And once again, obviously, we restart on the top line, so certainly not something that I necessarily need now as we make the dive through turns 1, through the center of the corner. Stenhouse on my back bumper as we get passed by Harvick, and now Blaney looks to my inside as we exit turn 2. And now Keselowski will also look to my left-hand side as Blaney clears me down the back straightaway as we head down into turn 3, as the 2 of Keselowski certainly looking to have the edge on me as we go through the corner, but we do actually rally back on his outside out of turn 4, trying to get that draft from the 10 of Almirola now as we come across the line here to complete the first lap in stage 2, still side by side with the 2 of Keselowski as Kyle Busch continues to lead over now 2nd place Joey Logano and 3rd place of Jimmy Johnson as we're still stuck on that top line, and that's certainly costing me time as we exit turn 2 with Denny Hamlin now looking to my inside, and obviously behind him there's not really anyone looking to my back bumper, so we could certainly get in behind Denny Hamlin, but you see I get a big run on him going through into turn 3. We'd end up clearing him. That would allow me to get to the bottom of the track just in front of the 11 now as we exit turn 4, so we settled in the 9th position at this point. Kind of not very good. We lost position positions just like we did at the start of this race with 10 to go now in stage 2. We would gain another position up to now 8th and 7th just about as we battle 3 wide with Blaney and Almirola as we go into turns 3, still 3 wide as we come through the center of the corner, clearing them both to gain those 2 spots into 7th place as we close up on the back of Jimmy Johnson for 6th place now as we start to make that rally forwards like we did in stage 1, and we would still sit in P6 by the time we come to about the midway point in stage 2 as Jimmy Johnson would actually move up the field, I believe, a little bit now as we come through down into turns 1. Actually, I believe we passed the 48 and Jimmy Johnson as we go into turns 1 on the back bumper of the 18 of Kyle Busch. A little bit sideways you saw there, but fortunately it's not too bad. It's not like where it was at the end of Pocono, which was a complete disaster. And as we came to 5 laps to go, we would get to the inside of Kyle Busch going into turns 1. Now looking to the inside of Joey Logano as well. Inside the top 5 as Quinn Boyer is going to give up the lead to the 2 of Brad Keselowski as we exit turn 2 side by side with the 22 of Logano. And I'm going to move up the track trying to side draft him, but it was too late of a move as he would easily clear me down the back straightaway as we head into turn 3. Looking to his inside late though into the entrance of the corner now side by side with the 22 once again of Logano, getting ahead of him now to the inside of Quinn Boyer as we exit turn 4, and Kevin Harvick sits in 2nd place. Keselowski leads across the line and we will sit P3, and by the time we came to lap 9 of 12 in stage 2, you see Keselowski losing the lead to the 4 of Kevin Harvick now as Joey Logano is going to look to my inside late and he's going to hit me on the left rear and we would go way up the track, but fortunately we would save the car as we came out of turn 4, and that was certainly a big blow to our good finish in stage 2. We would keep in the draft, and by the time we came towards about a lap and a quarter left in stage 2, we did run these cars back down, but certainly not really sure who was at fault there. Logano, he stuck his nose in, and I came down, not really expecting him to make that move as we come across the line to hit the white flag in stage 2. Certainly it was unfortunate that happened, but we are still in this race now as Ryan Blaney, he would end up taking over the lead now as we come through turns 1 and 2. Boyer moving up the track, taking Keselowski up the track with him, and we can take it 3 wide down the back straightaway as he will clear me though, and we'll have to settle in behind him as we head down into turns 3 and 4 for the final time in stage 2 as Ryan Blaney tries to hang on to the lead, but look at Almirola, he looks to the inside now of Blaney and he's going to pull ahead of him as we exit turn 4, looking to the inside of Keselowski as we do clear him now as we come through the trioval. Almirola will win stage 2 and we will come through to get the 7th finishing position in the 2nd stage. So certainly a very solid effort. Again, we could have been better for sure, but now as we head into the final stage, we will be taking 4 tires and 2 cans of fuel once again, just like the first stop, and now we will come out in the same position that we came in as well as we get ready to go green for this final stage here in Michigan. Like I said last time here, or the first race last season, we finished 2nd. Hopefully we can maybe do a little bit better in this final stage as the green flag is out. We restart, like I said, from 7th place behind the 14 of Quinn Boyer. This is the last stage. Certainly isn't a long one like Pocono. It's 18 laps to go as we get ready to make the short dash to the finish. Now as we head into turns 1 and 2 for the first time, Joey Logano up on that outside. Not a great restart for him. Now as we come through the center of the corner, side by side with the 4 of Kevin Harvick as he's going to get the edge on me. We're going to give him a side draft down the back straightaway as we try to pull ahead as we head down into turn 3 as Almirola continues to lead as he looks for his first win of the season and to lock himself into the playoffs now, as he already does have a stage win today, and that's already 1 playoff point for himself. Now as we come through the trioval, looking to the inside briefly of the 14, but he would block that move now as we come across the line side by side with the 18 of Kyle Busch. Now as we head into turns 1, still trying to get to the inside of Quinn Boyer, not even able to make it happen as we come through the center of the corner. Boyer, he's going to force it 3 wide though with the 2 Penske drivers of Blaney and Joey Logano down the back straightaway, and I believe Boyer's done this a couple times in this race already, and he's done it again now as we head down the back straightaway into turn 3. Going to give the bumper of the 14 a little bump as we go into turn 3 side by side with the 12 of Ryan Blaney with help from behind of Kyle Busch on my back bumper. Now as we come down the front straightaway, Boyer and Almirola have put a little bit of a gap between themselves and the field here as we come down the front straightaway, clearing the 12 of Ryan Blaney now as we head into turns 1. So up into the 3rd position, which is the best position that we've been in this race. So certainly looking like we might have a shot to do something now as we come down the back straightaway, immediately closing the gap up to the 14 and the 10 through turns 1 and 2 as we approach 15 laps to go this time by. We're certainly going to be a threat in this race before it is over. And now it's just really up to me to try and make something happen now, as when we finished second last time at this track, it was, I believe, in a 2-lap dash, but it was just so hard to pass the 22 of Joey Logano, who I believe won that race. Now as we hit 15 laps to go in Michigan, closing up even more on the back of the 14 of second place Clint Bowyer, as he's all over the bumper of his Stewart-Haas Racing teammate of Eric Almirola as we exit turn 2, coming down the back straightaway, pulling away from the cars behind me. And by the time we came to lap 37, still on the back bumper of the 14 and the 10. Now as we come down the back straightaway, you see still a pretty solid gap between myself and fourth place, which is really the rest of the pack as we head down into turn 3. Really, I'm just trying to kind of play it safe at this point in the race, knowing that we still got 14 laps to go. I don't really need to do anything crazy, but we would end up getting a caution with just 14 to go, and obviously that would force a restart with Bowyer on the outside and myself on the inside, second in line, with a chance to maybe move up to the second position as we get ready to go green. And the green flag is back out. It is just 11 laps to go in Michigan on the back bumper of the 10 of Almirola as we take the green flag across the line. And as we give the 10 a shove, he's going to move up the track, and he's going to leave the inside open as we go into turns 1, allowing me to make a move to the inside of Almirola as we come to his inside side-by-side, pretty even through turns 1 and 2. But as we come through the exit of the corner, Almirola gets a huge run to clear me, and Clint Bowyer, his teammate, will do the same as we tried to side draft him for a moment, but I was unable to hold him back, and we would fall back to the position that we were before, right on the back bumper of the 10 and the 14. But by the time it came to just 8 to go, still behind these two as we battled down into turns 1, pulling away once again from these cars behind us, as we're clearly the 3 fastest cars in this race at the moment. Now as we try to push the 14 through the exit of the corner, trying to get him up alongside the 10 of Almirola, but we would once again get a caution, and I couldn't find what any of these cautions were caused by, unfortunately, in the replays. But this would give us another chance to maybe make something happen on this late race restart. Obviously, even less laps now available to make something happen. The green flag is out. It is just a 5-lap dash to the end of this race now as we get to the inside of Clint Bowyer immediately, and this time I decided to play it a little bit different. I figured maybe if we don't push the 10 out ahead, we might be able to stay in line behind him and pass Clint Bowyer at the least. Now as we come through turns 1 and 2 through the center of the corner, unfortunately you're going to see Bowyer clears me with ease down the out of turn 2, down the back straightaway, and I would have to side draft the 12 of Blaney just to hold him back, and fortunately I was able to successfully side draft him. But what is good for myself is you see the 2 cars battling for the lead. They actually are side by side, and that allows me to close in on the back of Clint Bowyer pretty quickly as he loses a lot of momentum as we look to his inside down the front straightaway. As we come to hit 4 laps to go in this race, we would move into the second position ahead of Clint Bowyer, allowing me to set my sights on the 10 of Almirola, who is yet to win this season, as he's been winless for quite some time in this series now as we come through turns 1 and 2. A big opportunity for myself to get my second win of the season now as we come down the back straightaway, already closing the gap a little bit between myself and Eric Almirola as we go into turns 3, hitting 3 laps to go this time by, just closing that gap on him ever so slightly as we pulled away from third place Clint Bowyer. As soon as he fell back to third, he just started dropping down as he just couldn't hang with us for some reason as we crossed the line to hit 3 laps to go. And like I said, for these next 3 laps, we would just slowly continue to close the gap as we come through turns 1 and 2. Now closing up on Almirola as he does not have a lot of speed through turns 1 and 2. That certainly seems to be his weak point at this point now, as Stenhouse would take over third place as we head down the back straightaway, trying to just close right up on Eric Almirola as we head into turns 3 and 4, continuing to close the gap ever so slightly now within about half a car length. But as we came out of the corner, he would stretch it out to about another car length as we come to a lap and a half to go. Still about the same gap between myself and Almirola, but still a chance for me to maybe win this race as we come through turns 3 and 4, closing up even more as we approach the white flag this time by down the front straightaway, thinking of anything I can to maybe just try and pass the 10 of Almirola as we cross the line. The white flag's in the air, 2 car lengths between himself and I go for a much wider entrance on the corner, trying to arch it down now as we go into turns 1 and 2 for the final time, closing in on the back of Almirola within half a car length down the back straightaway. This is about the closest I've been going down the straightaway as we head into turn 3 for the final time, with a chance to get to the back of Almirola once again with the wide entrance to arc it down in into the center of the corner, all over the back bumper of Almirola, and we're going to make a move to his inside, trying to make a move down on the apron, but it's not going to work as we come down through the trioval. Almirola will hold me off to win the race, and we would end up finishing in the second position once again in Michigan, and unfortunately just could not quite get that victory as we were so close there, as we just barely lost it, and unfortunately we just couldn't make it happen. And it was so hard to pass him, and it's not the first time we've been close. We were close here last season, and unfortunately we managed to not win again here in Michigan, so it was unfortunate. But at least we had some happy drivers with us, and certainly a good points day. Almirola obviously locks himself into the playoffs with his first win since his career mode has started. And in the next episode, we will have Iowa for the Xfinity Series for Haley Diggin, and Sonoma, our first road course race for the Cup Series. So if you guys enjoyed this, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Those would all be very appreciated. And thank you guys for taking the time out of your day to watch one of my videos. I appreciate it very much. There you see the playoff standings, and I will see you guys in the next episode. Thank you for watching, everybody, and have yourselves a great day.